Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I decided that I need to redo my video about me having a miscarriage back in July, because it didn't, for some reason it recorded, but then when I went to upload it, it wasn't there anymore. So I don't know what happened. This all happened in June, towards the end of June, and I was still bleeding around this time. And they took my beta, and they said that it had went up, but not as much. So they wanted me to come back in, and they were gonna retest again, and that's what I did. Did that the next day, which was, I think, was on a Wednesday, and then I got the results again on a Friday, and they said that my numbers didn't go up, just very slightly. And she wanted me to go in to go get an ultrasound. I was thinking about doing it, but then I was like, what's the point? I'm like, at this point, I'm about 6 weeks, almost 7 weeks. And I thought about it, and then I was actually trying to, but they still hadn't received my paper from my doctor office to the ultrasound tech office that they were going to have to send me to, because their sonotech was backed up. So they didn't have no way for me to get in at their office. So Monday comes around and Tuesday, and I'm still bleeding. So I thought, okay, well, let me head and make this appointment. So I made the appointment to go in to see them. I think it was going to be on a Thursday. And they called me the day of the appointment and told me that I'll have to pay $307 up front to get the ultrasound done. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. Because my thought process is, if it's meant for us to have this baby's going to survive. If it's not meant for us to have this baby, then it's going to happen regardless. There's nothing I can do that's going to be able to stop it. So I'm not supposed to pay $307 for them to tell me that things are not looking good or whatever. I just decided to wait until my 8-week appointment. My 8-week appointment came up, and I went to my appointment. They did the ultrasound, and since I was early, they had to do the one where it's vaginal. So we did that. I went and saw my doctor's PA, because I haven't seen my doctor yet. I'm doing all this through her PA. So her PA comes in, and she lets me know that the baby looks great, but there's still a possibility that I'm going to have a miscarriage because the sac doesn't look normal. She doesn't understand why it's looking this way. It's looking like the sac is collapsing on the baby, which I also noticed that it looked kind of different to other pregnancies, because that was my 5th pregnancy, so I kind of know what they're supposed to look like. But so she did say that there's a possibility you'll still have a miscarriage. And I went home and I let my husband know, and then we just kept on going with our daily lives. That week of Aphrodite's birthday, she was turning 1 year old. I noticed that a little bit of my symptoms started kind of dying down a little bit. I still had some symptoms, but some weren't as, noticeable anymore. Like the hunger that I was having wasn't as strong like it once was, and nausea also wasn't as strong as it was either. But so the thought did come to my mind that this pregnancy isn't going to make it, but I also was trying to stay positive. So I went up going to my appointment. At this time, I'm 10 weeks. Sorry, my voice. I'm about 10 weeks pregnant when I go, and this happened on, I want to say July the 1st is when I had my 8 weeks appointment. And then July the 15th is when I went back. And that's when I went in, and the ultrasound tech did the same thing. We did it vaginally, and she never turned the screen around. She just kept looking and looking and looking. The screen never turned around, and that's when I knew that the baby was gone, because it normally doesn't take them that long to turn the machine around so you can see your baby. But she just kept looking and kept looking, and she apologized. She's like, I'm just still looking. And I just lay there, and I just knew that our baby had passed away. And I really knew when she went to go get the PA. She's like, I'm going to go get the PA real quick. And so she went and got the PA, and the PA came in. Her and the PA were like talking. I have really pretty good hearing, so I heard everything they were saying, and I even heard her say that she couldn't find the heartbeat. But they kept looking and looking and looking, and finally the PA came in and tells me, and she goes, Dominique, I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no heartbeat. Even though as a mom you know that intuition, that you knew your baby passed, it still was devastating and hard. I cried and cried and tried to hold it together, but I just couldn't. And I want that baby so bad. I still want that baby, but there's no way that I'm ever going to get that baby back. So the only way that helped me calm down was to ask questions and just talk. And the PA talked to me for a little bit, and then she left out, and then I started crying again, and then me and the son tech started talking, and I just started asking her questions, and she was nice enough to answer some other questions, like, yes, the sac was not normal, but she also said that the baby didn't even have a yolk sac. She was like, that's why she was so in shock that the baby had a heartbeat, even though there was no yolk sac. That I didn't know. I knew that the sac was not normal, but I didn't even know that the baby didn't have a yolk sac. That's basically what caused our baby to pass away. I went home and I told my husband. We cried. We were devastated. And then the next day was the day that I was actually going to meet my doctor. This is the first time I was going to meet this doctor. Her name is Dr. Olson. She's so sweet, so nice. When she first came in, she didn't even know that we had miscarried. They didn't have it in my notes. And then we ended up telling her, and she apologized, and she hugged me, and she hugged my husband. She explained to me like what had happened and all this stuff. And she gave us our options, which I knew I didn't want to have the miscarriage at home because our kids were going to be at home, and they didn't even know I was pregnant, and I wanted to keep it that way at that time being. I had the next day on a Wednesday to get the DNC and get that done, especially when you walk into the hospital where you have your other 3 babies and your son talks to you about, oh, Mom, didn't you have Maven here? Didn't you have Ariella and Aphrodite here? And I said, yes. He goes, where did you have me at? And I tell him where I had him at. And then he asked me, Mommy, are we going to have another baby? Are we going to have a boy baby? And him not knowing that I was pregnant and that we lost our baby was the most hardest thing I had to go through, and just had to keep a smile on my face and say, one day, Bubba, one day we'll have that baby. I walked in and we sat until I got called back. My husband and kids were there with me, but they left after I got called back to the room that they're going to take me in to get me prepped and ready. The nurses were amazing. They were so sweet and nice. They walked me through all the stuff that was going to happen and all that. And the anesthesiologist came in and saw me, and I got wheeled back there. And like my husband said, you're not going to remember anything. And literally, I did not remember anything. I remember them about to move me to the next bed, and I was literally gone. Like, when the nurse woke me up, and I was just like, what is done is over. But yeah, that is the story of our loss of our baby number 5. I will do an update about my recovery and all of that, but I'm going to go into work, and I'll talk to you guys later. And please give this video a thumbs up. Even though it is a sad video, it would definitely help out with my channel. Subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe, and it will also help my channel out very, very much. It will definitely help me be able to grow my channel as well. So I'd love to have your support, and please leave in the comments when you do subscribe who you are and a little bit about yourself. Bye, you guys.
Not waste my time, so baby we should start living now.